very much. I think that was they were very insightful on, some of those opportunities that are out there. And I know that we have Richard here as well, and he's got a lot of answers for us. But I wanted to ask Gonzalo. Gonzalo and I, we sit on the executive committee together at the chamber, and we talk about this a lot. We talk about, how, Gonzalo, just for y'all to know, he's an innovator. He's a leader in his industry, and he's got, different companies out there in Laredo, and they take up a lot of energy. They have cold storage. We have other stuff. So Gonzalo has been an early adapter to a lot of this stuff, but through that, Gonzalo hit some roadblocks there, and he hit some bumps in the road. So Gonzalo, can you talk a little bit about some of the bumps in the road and some of the ones that you faced? That way, we get a chance for Richard and Alvaro to kind of talk to us about how we can navigate through those before we hit those. So I know you had some of those. So let's go to Gonzalo. Talk about your experience, sir.
Thank you, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Alison. Thank you, Tricia. Thank you, the Rio Grande National Study Center, for this opportunity. I think it's very important. It's very important for our community to have these round tables. And everyone was, a few years ago, knocking down and show me your receipt and I will tell you how much it will cost. In that round, they will give you, okay, it will take the return of investment maybe 20 years. 20 years, no way. So the market improved a lot. Now the opportunities are there. The numbers of the cost of the panels, of the solar panels, have been coming down, and now it makes sense and more sense with the tax credit, the tax benefits, and with the depreciation that the IRS is giving, all these programs that are out there. So we managed to establish the first set of solar panels for our offices, and first of all was the opportunity that the cost of the solar panels from 3 years or 4 years ago, nowadays it has come really down, and that's what it made me turn my head. And so you're investing on a life cycle of 25 years on a solar panel. So you're going to reduce your energy bill for the next 25 years, or you're going to get rid of the energy bill that you pay every month. That's important. And from there, there's a lot of opportunities that I've said here. For example, imagine switching your forklifts from gas to energy. And that's a cost that we pay every week, the cost of gas. And then what we're implementing right now, it's the chargers for electric vehicles. So we told our employees, well, right now they turn away and say, really, nobody has an EV nowadays in our employees, but you can retain employees as charge-free here, because you have solar panels, you have maybe excess of energy, and you can do some retain your employees. Okay, imagine you can go to your workplace every day and charge for free. You will not pay any longer gas. And all of these ideas are coming down, and I think what most kept my attention is, as I was landing in Tokyo last year, I saw maybe 80% of the roofs with solar panels. And then you land here and you see all these big extensions of solar, of warehouses, and nobody has the solar panels. With all these incentives, I think it's the time, it's the opportunity, it's the future to invest, and especially to have clean energy in our area. So thank you all, and I think if you have any questions, please feel free to come to me.
Thank you very much, Gonzalo. And, being an innovator, sometimes innovation and early adaption, he hit some of those roadblocks that made it a little bit more expensive for him. But now he's saying, now he's looking at it, looking at the landscape and saying, this is an opportunity now to people now should invest in this, and they're not going to face some of the same challenges that he faced. I know that Richard here has really recently has worked with Roberto and is working with other folks on some of these challenges that Gonzalo faced. So Richard, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about some of those challenges and then how some of the answers that you had there.
Well, yeah, I know we're a little short on time, and one of the things that we wanted to bring up to everybody was just the fact that, I don't know if, everybody has a tax liability or not. Some of us do, some of us don't. Some of us can maybe take advantage of those incentives that Arturo had mentioned. But we have some other services to help everybody at $0 basically. And we have services that allow you to generate revenue from your facility, just leasing the space out to us. Basically what we would do there is, you guys would lease the space. We would basically rent it, whether it's rooftop areas or parking areas. And we would install solar panels to, generate on-site into the facility or to flow out. But it would still give you that corporate green image at basically, $0 entry. So just basically wanted to let you guys know that that's a service that you guys can take advantage of. Another thing would be if you're looking to spend $0 on an investment like this, there's also a power purchase agreement in which you enter to purchase power from us. We would install the solar panels on site and again give you that corporate green image at $0 cost to you up front. And you would basically just purchase that energy for really low cost. And so that would obviously immediately reduce your energy expenses, and there wouldn't be an investment necessary there. After 5 years, you guys would have the purchase option. So if you wanted to own it outright and just stop paying PG Energy, monthly payment for that energy, you could just purchase it outright. So just wanted to let you guys know that that's an option that's available since we're talking so much about tax liabilities and purchases and upfront costs. You really don't have to go that route with us if you enter into an agreement like that. And some of these we could also, build hybrid solutions for you. So, it could be a combination of these services that are at $0 cost to you. You do nothing differently, you just pay your energy bill. And basically what would happen is you just reduce the overall cost day one. And yeah, just save your capital for other expenses that your business might have. Maybe then, there you probably have to purchase semi, so maybe reserve the capital for that and just reduce your energy bill day one with us at $0.
So that we could work together on innovative projects to help our border city thrive economically, environmentally, and socially. And at that meeting, we focused on the massive amounts of federal funds that are becoming available to underinvested communities like Laredo to modernize its infrastructure and transportation industry through electrification and EV charging to deal with the intensifying pressures of climate change. And the administration's landmark Inflation Reduction Act, the IRA, and that amount includes about $533 billion for climate and clean energy projects alone. And sometimes we don't realize like how monumental and how significant and huge this is. And this federal funding commitment is rivaled only in our history by the New Deal, even when adjusted for inflation. And meanwhile, as Allison mentioned, the President signed an executive order known as Justice 40, which seeks to direct 40%, that's why it's Justice 40, of the overall benefits in climate and clean energy to historically disadvantaged communities. And so at that lunch meeting, we asked ourselves, how can Laredo seize these opportunities before other cities beat us to the punch? And so from that meeting came the idea of a business roundtable for leaders in the freight industry. And we also knew we needed to bring in technical experts from Washington, D.C., like Athena from Earth Justice, Matt Tejada from the Natural Resources Defense Council. They're both here with us today. And then soon after, we had our first meeting with Mario Palos Jr. of Palos Garza. He was going to be on a panel, and he got tied up in Mexico City and couldn't make the panel today. But you're still going to get his case study. And we discussed the new EPA electrification rules for Class 8 heavy-duty trucks. And Mario guessed that maybe 10% of his colleagues were aware of these new rules, and even fewer were aware of federal funds to help with this massive transition. And the following week, we connected with Álvaro Pequeño of PEG Energy, who introduced us to the world of these incredibly attractive market of IRA solar tax credits. And by early May, we were meeting with Roberto Perez of Forza, who's taking full advantage of both electrification trends and the IRA solar tax credits. And so we quickly realized in those first fast, furious weeks that the market signals that are being sent out by this once-in-a-generation funding moment had landed in Laredo. And these visionary business leaders had already sensed them and begun to invest and act on them. And so we want to share their story with you today. And these gentlemen know that if more Laredo companies and more Laredo businesses become aware of these opportunities, and if our elected leaders can provide more support to our businesses to incentivize this transition, then the Laredo freight industry will become even more competitive and prosperous, while at the same time protecting our public health and environment. And so we're grateful to each of them for their help in putting together this unique business workshop.